Peace, y'all. Evolve Benton here, the Speaking for Profit strategist. Over the last 4 years, I've helped my clients make over $4 million from the speaking and consulting industry. And I'm excited to speak to you today about how you can use AI, particularly Claude AI, to build out your speaker outreach system. So let's dive into today's training. Do me a favor, go on and open up Claude or sign up for an account if you haven't, and get your notebook out because you're going to want to make sure that you write down all those needed prompts in order to build out a system that's going to get you booked and paid to speak and consult. So let's dive into the training. So welcome to today's training. Stop waiting to get booked. Let AI do the outreach for you. How to use Claude to find speaking opportunities, research decision makers, and land more speaking gigs without coach pitching strangers. So let's put together your outreach system that you're going to build out on Claude. Before we dive in, do me a favor, like this video, hit subscribe, and drop a comment below. It helps more speakers like you find free trainings just like this one. What you're going to learn today, we are going to build out your AI-powered speaker asset folder in Claude. You're going to learn how to search for speaking opportunities and organizations using this asset folder, how to generate personalized speaker outreach emails, how to use AI to research conferences and decision makers, and how to scale your outreach without losing your voice. Because we know that brand voice is one of the most important things when it comes to being a profitable speaker and consultant. So let's talk about why AI and speaking and the unfair advantage that you currently have. 72% of speakers get booked through proactive outreach, not referrals. So I know maybe you have a business where people are referring you all the time, but eventually that might slow down. Look at our economy here in the United States. We had government contracts that were keeping people afloat that were instantly taken away. So we want to make sure as business owners that we have multiple streams of outreach going on, multiple streams of outreach. Go to write that down in your notes, multiple streams of outreach. 10 times faster to research orgs and create proposals when you use AI. So we want to also have speed when it comes to our business. We realize that there are opportunities, but there's several people pitching. So if you take a few days or a few moments to send out your email, that can actually put you behind. And next thing you know, someone else has gotten your contract. Another thing is that my clients here at Speaking for Profit University have used this exact framework to build over $3 million in revenue collectively the last few years. So we know that this works. Your speaking career shouldn't depend on who you know. It should depend on how you're doing your outreach. So let's get into that so that you can have a strategy that helps you build a profitable speaking and consulting business. Let's get into it. If you are feeling this already and you're like, you know what, how did I find this free training? Hey, I'm glad that you did. Let's get into building out your speaker asset folder in Claude. If this is something that you are excited about, go on and put the word money in the comments. I love to see money come through. It makes me feel abundant, and I hope it makes you feel abundant as well. So when you're building out your project, and by the way, if you're watching this video and you're like, okay, I want to see Claude, don't worry. We are going to do live demonstrations here. So stick around. This isn't just going to be me going through some slides. I'm going to actually show you how to get into the system. Step one, build your speaker asset folder in Claude. I'm going to teach you exactly how to do that in a moment. What's going to go in that folder? You're going to put your speaker bio. That could be your short and full version, your signature talk with title and description, 3 to 5 speaking topics with hooks, testimonials, and social proof. And that can be audio, video, or even some written testimonials, past speaking venue, logos, one sheet PDF or links, and your fee ranges by event type. Why Claude projects? Claude makes it easy for us because Claude remembers your brand voice. No re-explaining yourself each time you log in, and then you will have consistent messaging across all of your outreach. You have one source of truth for your speaking story, and this is a faster and smarter way every time you put together proposals. So let's get into one of our first prompts that we're going to use within Claude. setting up your Claude project. The prompt that we're going to use is, you are my speaker brand assistant. I'm going to give you my speaker bio, signature talk, topics, testimonials, fee ranges, and past venues. Store all of this in a project so that every time I ask you to write outreach, you already know my story and can speak to my voice. Never sound generic. Always start from my specific experience and outcomes. So let me show you how to go into Claude and build out this project. So we're in Claude. Good afternoon, E. Claude calls me Coach E, which I appreciate. We're going to go over here to the left-hand side, and we're going to click on projects. And that is going to be this folder here right below chat. So you probably use chat quite often if you are using Claude on a regular basis, but we want to go over to projects. You're going to go to new project, and you're going to name it your name / speaking business. So it could be Evolve Benton Speaking Business Outreach System, right? Let's go on and name it. What are you trying to achieve? I am building a 7-figure speaker business. Let's do it. So now that we are inside of Claude, they're going to ask you what they can help you with. And we are going to put that prompt in there. But before we do that, we want to add the files that we just talked about, right? So if you click down here, you'll see that you have the ability to add Claude, right? Add Claude files here. So we want to click on here, and we're going to upload the files from our device. We're going to grab those files that we just talked about so that they're located in here. So you want to make sure you do that first. Upload all those files that we talked about and that information. And then you can also add instructions to tailor Claude's responses. That's where we're going to actually put that first prompt. I'm going to grab that. I'm going to put that here. Great. And then we're going to save those instructions. So now Claude knows where to pull from, how to work with us, and what we want to do when we start to prompt it and ask it even more questions. Make sure that you do this before you get into building out any additional assets using Claude. So let's get back into the slides and back into the training. So now we've set up our Claude project. If that was helpful and that was something that you didn't even know how to do, go on and put the word "thank you, Evolve" in the comments. Put the word "thank you, Evolve" in the comments. I really appreciate gratitude, and I know that you do too. Gratitude is the attitude that leads to abundance. So we always want to live in that. But that was something that, even if you just did that, you would brew so much more from actually having conversations with Claude about your speaking business. So now that we've gotten that done, the next step is we want to move into step 2. And we want to see how we can search for opportunities with AI now that we've built out our project. So we're going to ask Claude to find 10 conferences focused on our topic that accept speaker submission and audience size. So we're going to ask Claude to look up conferences and summits, find 10 national conferences focused on my topic that accept speaker submissions, include website, submission deadline, and audience size. If we're looking for corporate buyers, we're going to ask Claude, list 15 companies in my industry that hire external speakers for employee training or annual kickoffs. Include the likely decision maker title. If we're looking for associations, we're going to go in and say, what professional associations in my niche host annual conferences where paid speakers present? List the org name, annual event, and average attendance size. If we're looking for call for speaker pages, search for open call for speakers in my topic area happening between 2025 and 2026. Prioritize events with honorariums and paid opportunities. So why don't we try one of these, right? We're not going to have time to try all of them, but I do want to make sure that we do try a couple of them. So just so you could see how this works. So let me pull back up Claude so that we can get into using it and doing some search. We're back in our project. We always want to go back in our project when we decide to go in and ask these questions of Claude. So we're going to see if Claude can find some national organizations for me to speak at. So national conferences focused on, we're going to do preventing burnout? Because that's something that I've been wanting to explore. Let's see what we can find with Claude. Now, there are various versions that you can use, various models when you think about Claude. This one that we're using right now is Sonnet. It's more efficient for everyday tasks. Opus 4.7 is more capable for ambitious work. And then there are more models, right, that you could use as well. Past model, Opus 4.6. Opus consumes usage limits faster than other models, so you always want to know that. So for today, what we're going to do is we're going to actually leave it here because we don't want to use a lot of our time, and see what it gives us. But just realize that there are other models you can use if it doesn't yield the results you want to. You just got to be careful on your usage, y'all, because you don't want to be working on it and then Claude tells you, hey, I got to go to sleep for a while. So we want to actually utilize our AI as best as possible. And then we can always do deeper searches later on. So let's see what we get. All right, it says brand portfolio, brand profile stored. Now let me do the research these conferences. Your brand profile is fully saved. Have your speaker brief locked. Now here's your research conferences. All right, so we've got SHRM Annual Conference XO 2026, right? They're telling us a little bit about the typical audience, when the event is, when the submission deadline is, that they provide stipends and registration benefits for speakers, paid partial compensation, the world's largest HR conference, a strong fit for my healing and DEI intersection. Great. Work Human Live 2026, which is happening April 2027. Okay. 27th through the 30th, 2026, Orlando, Florida. ATD International Conference, Annual Wellness Speaker Summit, 36th Annual Art and Science of Health Promotions Conference, Wellbeing at Work Summit, Emerging Trends in Workplace Wellness. Look, y'all, these events are like happening very, very soon. Business Group and Health Annual Conference, SHRM 2026, ATL, Wellbeing Think Tank Summit. All right, we got quite a few, right? So you could use this to research and then deep dive into finding more events for you to potentially pitch to. This is great. This is great. So if y'all are picking up what I'm putting down and you realize how amazing this is, and you're like, dang, I've been looking for a system that allows me to not just search for speaking opportunities, but opportunities that can actually serve me and my particular business. Just want to put the word money in the comments, y'all, because this is brilliant. So let's move on, right? That's one of the steps that you can use to find some corporate and some speaking contracts. But I want to make sure that we get through the whole training. So let's get into it and into our next step, which is step 3. And this is how you research orgs and decision makers before you pitch. The pitch to paid rule: personalization beats volume every time, y'all. So we're going to use this, and we can use these prompts to research the event itself. So you can say, hey, tell me, Claude, about this event name. What is the theme of this year? Who attends? What past speakers have covered? And what gaps might exist in their programming? Or, hey, Claude, can you find the decision maker? Who typically books speakers for a blank organization type? What is their LinkedIn title and what do they care about? Or you could say, hey, Claude, align me with my needs, right? The needs of the talk. Based on this organization's mission and event theme, which of my speaker topics would be the strongest fit and why? Help me frame my values specifically for their audience. So this really gets into us like looking at particular events. So since we found some events, y'all, to actually speak at, maybe we can use one of those in our example as we use this next prompt. So let's go back over to Claude. And we're going to try one of these conferences and see if we can find someone using this to reach out to. So let me go on and get one of these prompts. Hopefully you got to see me put in this prompt. right? Tell me about SHRM Annual Conference and Expo. What is the theme this year? Who attends? What have past speakers covered? And what programming gaps might exist? So this is the information that we got. Of course, information about where it takes place, which is June 16th through the 19th in Orlando, Florida, at the Orange County Convention Center. The great thing about this is that it primarily is HR practitioners, and also CHROs, people managers, benefit leaders. These are people I would love to get in front of so I could speak at their organizations. And this year's theme, they don't really have an overarching theme, but it's clear that the programming is centering cultural transformation, mental health, and human-centered leadership as anchoring pillars. Auntie Oprah is speaking and taking the stage on June 19th for a moderated discussion called Leading with Vision, Building Culture That Inspires and Include Transformation. Simon Sinek and John Maxwell are also featured keynotes, both known for purpose-driven culture and people-first leadership frameworks. They also have a wellness stage that is explicitly programmed and includes short micro bursts of education. So this is something that I could definitely do. Wellness, self-care, yoga, meditation, and more. This is great, giving us the past and current sessions, y'all. It's giving us so much. So we see here that we can really deep dive if we wanted to put together a pitch that could particularly work for SHRM, right? And they're already giving some ideas down here, or what are some actual ideas of things and gaps that I could fulfill because of my speaker profile that I uploaded here. So this is amazing, y'all. So let's get into the next prompt and the next step, because if y'all are picking up what I'm putting down, y'all, and y'all see how amazing this is, I would love for you to like and subscribe. This is going to be something that is going to change your life and your business. And I hope that you're getting value out of this free training. So now that we've got to step 3, which is able to research orgs and decision makers before you pitch, let's get into another reminder. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe so that you can get more free trainings just like this one. And if you are really enjoying this video, put AI speaker in the comments below. So let's get back to the training. Step 4 is you want to generate your outreach email with Claude. How do we do that, right? How do we generate our outreach email with Claude? Use this prompt inside your speaker asset. Use everything you know about my brand and speaker story. Write a speaker outreach email to this person at this title at this organization for their upcoming event on this date. I want to propose my talk. This email should feel warm and specific, not templated. References something about their event or mission. Keep it under 200 words. End with a soft call to action to schedule a call, y'all. This is an amazing prompt. Like, if anything, I hope this prompt is going to help y'all. So let's take some time. Let's go on and put this into Claude as well so that y'all can see how that works. Let me go on and grab the prompt. Let's put it in, and we're going to have to change some things, right? So reach out to, let's say, we don't have a name. So we're just going to make something up, y'all. Let's say, well, actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let me go on LinkedIn. I'm doing a little bit of a pivot, y'all. I'm gonna find someone I want to reach out to on LinkedIn just to like put it together and see if we can figure out some things. So I'm going on to LinkedIn and I'm going to actually look up organizations. So let's say we wanted to speak at Google. No, let's look at Microsoft. All right. Let's go over to companies. Okay, I don't think I spelled it right. That's why. There we go. So I wanted to speak at Microsoft. First, let's see if there's some people we already know that work at Microsoft. It's always better to reach out to people we already have a connection with. Okay, so they're doing AI stuff. Let's reach out to this person. We're just going to use them as an example. All right, so let's go back over. Put their name here. And then the title, what is their title? Let's go back over to LinkedIn and see what their title is. Senior Cloud and Data Engineer. Okay. Go back over. Senior Cloud and Data AI Engineer. And then we know that they're at Microsoft. Their upcoming event is, let's just say, new staff training on May 30th, 2026. I want to propose my talk, write it out, moving past fear and anxiety. This email should feel warm, specific. Okay, cool. Let's see what we get. All right, so Claude needs more information. I always love when they say this. A couple of quick questions before I write this. Okay, what is the format audience for new staff training, new tech employees onboarding the Microsoft? What tone feels right? Warm and peer-to-peer. Cool. Cue the Jeopardy music, right? Okay, so hi Perna. Starting a new role at a company like Microsoft is exciting and quietly terrifying. New staff are navigating imposter syndrome, high expectations, and the pressure to perform before they even feel settled. That fear rarely gets named out loud, and that's why exactly where burnout begins. I'm Evolve Benton, they, them, a keynote speaker, DEI consultant, faculty member at SNHU. I spent over a decade as a DEI manager at UCSF, one of the country's top medical institutions, where I watched brilliant people shrink under the weight of unspoken anxiety. That experience was what shaped my talk. Write It Out, Moving Past Fear and Anxiety, a workshop that uses personal narrative and reflective writing to help people name what's holding them back and move through it with clarity and intention. For incoming Microsoft staff, this session offers something onboarding checklists can't do: a tool to process the emotional weight of newness and stepping into the role grounded. I love to explore whether this would fit for May 30th. Would you have 15 minutes for a quick call this week or next? Bam, y'all. This is easy, right? Like, a lot of y'all come to me and say, who do I reach out to? And what do I say? This right here can give you that answer right away and put you in a position to be able to do it immediately. There's no more excuses, y'all. You have it set up and you have the system. So let's get back into the slides, y'all. I know that y'all are like, wow. I know there's some people that are like, wow. If you're like, wow, put wow in the comments, because I'm even wowed by that. And it to me, I always like to read these things out loud because I want to make sure that it actually sounds like my voice, which is important to me. And that's something that I would write. So a quick note, always edit the output, add personal detail AI wouldn't know. Save your best performing emails back in your project as examples. So if we really like this, we could save it, right, in our project and keep it. And just like we downloaded it, and we downloaded it when we downloaded our bio and all our other information, we could download this email as a reference as well. So the next step is step 5, which is to scale your outreach without sounding like a bot. So your assets in your cloud project, they're going to help you find opportunities. AI is going to resource the org. AI is going to draft your email and you review and send. You don't want to sound like a bot, y'all. So do these things. Send Cloud Voice instructions once in the project. So you can literally speak voice into it so it can hear your actual voice, which I think is powerful. Batch 5 to 10 outreach drafts per session. Use AI to track and draft follow-ups. So you want to look this up, and then you want to save it. And if you really like it, you want to add it back to Claude so that your project continues to build out. Avoid sending AI outputs without personalizing. If you do that, you will get generic AI robotic stuff. We don't want to do that. Do not use generic prompts without your brand context and skipping the research step. So you see that even here, we did our research first. We didn't just make up a person. We looked up a company, and we looked up a person actually on LinkedIn that we already connected with that we could reach out to. Now, the event I made up for this test, but what if they actually were having an event coming up and we've seen them pop up on our LinkedIn and say, hey, I've got this event coming up. We're looking for speakers. This is a great way to cultivate and put together that pitch. So make sure that you're able to scale this without sounding like a bot so that your system stays as clear and abundant as possible. So this is you, y'all. You built out your speaker outreach system. You have an asset folder where you got your bio, talks, testimonials, fees, upload to your Claude project. You can also put your CV and resume there. You learned how to find opportunities using the Claude web search to find conferences and corporations and associations. We also researched the orgs to align and find the theme and mission. We drafted an outreach email so that you could see how that, and added our own human touch. And we also talked about what does it look like to scale and create a follow-up process. So I've already done it. We already did the live demo throughout, but I hope that this was really helpful for you. This training was helpful. I want you to head over and join my community, the Profitable Speaker Circle. You will see the link to this community in the description. It's also going to pop up right here on the screen. And in this space, I have the slides from today's presentation. I have the prompts that I gave you. We do monthly Q&As, and we have an amazing community of over 300 speakers. This is the space that you need to be, and it's free to join. Of course, getting more access to more information and quicker results requires an upgrade to our premium or our VIP tier, but you can get started and be in the community today for free. So click the link in the description, join us there, and stop saying that you can't build a speaking business without stress and anxiety. This is something that will cause you to bring abundance and ease into your life and business. And I am so thankful that you went on this journey with me so that I can help you. So do me a favor. Don't forget to subscribe so that you can get more free trainings just like this. Don't forget to comment and let us know what you're going to actually apply and put into work today, because what we know is that the folks who actually put in action are going to be the ones who attract abundance. You can't sit on this information. It's going to require implementation. And if you need support and accountability with that, I want you to join the Profitable Speaker Circle. Thank you so much for using your most valuable resource with me, which is your time. And I cannot wait to see you in the next video. All right. Peace.